Hi, welcome to this lesson. So, in this lesson, we'll be talking about conditional statements. So, as the name implies, conditional statements are used to return something or do something. Okay, something or more than one thing, it doesn't matter, but do something if a condition returns true. Okay, so basically, if a condition ends up being true, like that. Okay, but it can also be used for doing something else if the condition is false. Okay, so you can tell your browser to not execute certain lines of code if the condition is false, or execute certain lines of code if the condition is false. Things like this. So conditional statements basically let you do something based on the result of the condition. Okay, either true or false. So based on the result of the condition, you can do something or you can't do something. Stuff like that. Okay. So there are two types of conditional statements. There's the if statement, and then there is the switch statement. All right. So I'll give you a basic English representation of this. Okay, so you can learn how to do how these things work better, right? Okay, so let's start with the if statement. So it's not just the if statement, it's also called the if else statement, and there are multiple ways to write these statements. I'll just give you a basic representation of it first, so you understand how it works in English. Okay, so basically how it says, if something is true, and the something is usually a condition, right? So if something is true, do. Okay, I'll do this in multi-line comment. All right. Okay, if something is true, do this. If not, that is, if that condition is not true, do this. So basically, what I'm asking my browser to do is check a condition. It only checks the condition once. So this is the part where it checks for the condition. Okay, so it's going to check the condition and it's going to see if it's true. If it is true, then it's going to execute these lines of statements. Okay, do this can be multiple lines of code. I'll tell you how to do that. Okay, how to place multiple lines of code in one block like that. I'll teach you how to do that. So this will be a block of code. Okay, so do this is actually one block of code. So if not, you don't have to check the condition again. It already checked for this, right? So if it was false, it'll directly come here. So it'll first check the condition here. If it was true, it'll go inside and execute these lines of code. And that's it. After that, next lines of code. Okay, and so once the condition is true and these lines of codes have been executed, this particular part would not be executed and it'll automatically come here. Okay, but if the condition was false, then these lines of code would be skipped. Okay, they'll be skipped and they would not be executed, and it will automatically come to this line of code and it will start executing all of these things, and this can be multiple lines of code as well. This is also another block. Okay, so no matter what, if it executes this or if it executes this, okay, it will still come to the next line of code after that. Okay, so that's how it works. I'll show you examples of how it works so you understand how these things are, right? Okay, so let me show you the syntax of it first. So basically how it's done is, if inside of it I'm going to give a condition like this, after that I have to open a parenthesis like this. Okay, I have to give two parentheses, flower brackets. Okay, two flower brackets, and open it up. So starting flower bracket, ending flower bracket, and in here I can give my statements. Okay, statement 1, statement 2, and then a statement 3, and it can be so on and so forth like this. Okay, and what's happening here is, this is a block of code. Remember the block of code I talked about? So this would be the block of code. Okay, so if the condition is true, then this block of code is going to be executed. So there's also something called if not, right? So instead of giving if not in here, all I have to do is give else in here, and I don't have to open the parentheses like this. I don't have to check for the condition in here. None of these things, just else. And after that, open the flower brackets again and open it up. And similarly, I can give multiple statements in here as well. So basically, if the condition is true, these statements would be executed. If the condition is not true, which was checked here, these statements would be skipped. Okay, they will not be executed, and it will automatically come here and it'll execute these statements. Okay, the next block of statements. So if the condition was true, then these statements would be executed, right? What will happen is then this entire thing would not be executed at all. Your browser would completely skip all of this and it'll come to line number 30 and it'll execute the next statement in here. Okay. But if the condition was false, it'll completely skip everything and come to line number 23. Code line number 23, and it'll start executing from line number 24. So that's how that works. Alright, so that's the basic syntax of your if statement. If I start, let me give you some examples so you can see how it works. So the condition as such, the condition can be any condition. It can be any, it can be the equal to operation or the strictly equal to operation. It can be the greater than, the lesser than, the greater than equal to, the less than equal to. It can be any of these, operations that we learned about earlier, remember? So it can be any of these. So your condition can be an expression that's based on any of these or one or more of these. Okay, it can also be logical operations. Okay, logical operations like and or not as well. So you can use any of these things to create your condition in your if statement. Okay, let me show you some examples of how it works. All right, let's look at them. Let's do a simple comparison. Okay, just a simple thing. Right. Okay, so let num1 is equal to 5. Okay, num1 is equal to 5. Let's just create something like that. Let num2 is equal to 6. So that's what I've created, and I'm going to create an if statement. Okay, this is how, see, color changes, right? So that means it's a keyword. So if is a keyword. So if statement inside the parenthesis, I'm going to ask for the condition, is num1 greater than num2? So as you know, in your conditions, you're going to get either a true or false. So if num1 is greater than num2, then you can alert something like this, good. Okay, I'm just creating one statement inside of this block right now. It can be more than one statement. That's up to you, okay? And then I'm going to say else, that is if num1 is not greater than num2, then alert not good. Like this, okay? Alright, sorry about that. Num1 is greater than num2. So if I refresh, what am I going to get? Not good. Now why is that? Well, 5 is not greater than 6. So this condition is actually false. So the else statement gets executed. So that's not good. On the other hand, if num1 was actually 7, then I'm going to get good. Okay, so it can be anything. It can be any statement at all. It can be, I can add a logical operation as well if needed. And I don't know, something like num1 is equal to num2. Something like that. Okay, that's always going to be false, you know that, right? If num1 is greater than num2, then num1 is not equal to num2, so you're always going to end up with not good like this. I just wanted to use your AND operation. On the other hand, if I were to use my OR operation, so either num1 is greater than num2 or num1 is equal to num2, then that's going to be good. See, I'm going to get a good now. And if both were 6, I'm still going to get a good. So that's your if-else statement. So that's the first one. That's the if-else statement. So we've looked at the if-else statement in this lesson. I'll see you in the next lesson with more statements. Okay, I'll see you there. Thank you.